Welcome to Sofia, Bulgaria. Overlooking the beautiful city of Sofia, we have a mountain called Vitosha, and we're headed to take the lift up to Vitosha. And after that, we're going to go to Plovdiv, which is one of the oldest cities here in Europe. So won't you join us as we go to Vitosha and then Plovdiv. Welcome to my beautiful neighborhood here in Sofia. So the first thing we need to do is to walk to the metro. It's about 10 minutes. It's Indica, National Palace of Culture. They say Indica. It's the three letters Indica. By the way, I do have another video where I walked around and talked about some of the history and had another look at Indica. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. And also, if you're interested in subscribing, well, boy, wouldn't that be more than a guy could ever ask for. So let's read some Cyrillics. So this is the equivalent of an F. It makes an F sound. So you have ka-a-fi, coffee, coffee. And then you can see, check it out, coffee, cough. It's actually cafe. As we continue our journey, there's a lot of local artists here decorating these walls that are on the ground floor next to the sidewalk, which is pretty prevalent. But anyway, I was gonna say there's a 90% chance of rain today. It's really nice right now, but maybe we'll get up there and it'll just be no views, rain coming down, time will tell. So we made it to Indica. Behind me, this massive building, there's an auditorium inside, and I just got sidetracked. I just ran in there for like 10 minutes because there's supposed to be some socialist style mosaics in there with like all the happy farmers, stuff like that. I saw the door was open. I decided to give it a shot, to go inside. I made it up to the 5th floor, which is where I hear they're supposed to be. And I was surprised when I opened the elevator. There was some type of expose going on with all types of mothers and kids. And there were a couple conference rooms open, which had some massive artwork on the walls. And that was the best that I could find as far as these socialist style mosaics. So I don't know, I can't find them in there, but I thought they were supposed to be in there. I thought they were supposed to be on the 5th floor. And so far, I haven't really seen them. And that's the second time I've been in there, so that was my second try. Now we're descending into the metro. This will be the first time that I've used the metro here in Bulgaria, so we'll see how it works. It's getting closer. We rode the metro 3 stops. So I took a taxi up to the lift, up to the mountain, and unfortunately, the lift is not working. I was talking to my taxi driver. He said because of coronavirus and all that stuff, the lift might not be working. It's supposed to be functioning between May to September on the weekends, but it's not. So we'll just turn around and see what else happens. All right, so that was a shortened journey on that lift. We've taken the cab back to the Vitosha metro here, so I'll ride 3 stops back to Indica. But that's not the end of the video. Tomorrow, Plovdiv. So we're back in the old hood, and the lift не работает, or maybe it's a не работи. So I met 3 people today that didn't speak English, which is actually kind of uncommon for me here in Bulgaria. But all 3 of them spoke some Russian. I also went to the mall at Vitosha. I bought this thing, a hair and beard trimmer, because I had one that was kind of like it, but of course it was an American one. And when I plugged it into the outlets here and then I turned it on, it buzzed louder than I'd ever heard it buzz before in my life. And after about a minute, it started smoking. So fried it, which I don't know how that works, right? Because obviously I can plug in my computers to the same converter that I have, and those don't fry, and most of my stuff doesn't fry. Good morning. So we are walking to the bus. It's a 25-minute walk. It's over by Nevsky Cathedral. One thing I learned about Bulgaria after being here for 3 weeks is I think almost everyone smokes. I was out to dinner last night and just people smoking all around. Quite a few people smoke here. Palace of Justice behind me now, and then over here, Vitosha Boulevard. It's quiet this morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. As we're walking through the City Garden Park, we have some fountains right here which are not on. And then, of course, last night, all these benches would have been full of people because it's very popular just to come to the park, have a couple of beverages, and sit out here with your friends, especially on a Saturday night. And so this morning, there's a lot of cleanup work going on, people picking up the bottles and picking up the trash. City Garden behind us now, and also the National Theater behind us now. I keep forgetting to bring this book and to just show this book. I got this little pamphlet on the first free tour that I went on. It's full of all types of information, and one of the things that's in here has led me to today's adventure, which we're going on a bus trip to Plovdiv. It's about 2 hours away. There's also another place that we're going to. I forget the name of the city, but anyway, yeah, it's in this book. It's because of the free tour led me to the website, and so today's trip is all about a bus trip, organized tour. I have no idea what to expect, but we're about to find out. We've reached the cathedral. I think we found our bus. It's starting to rain ever so slightly. Finally, that 90% chance of rain caught up with us. Believe it or not, I do have an umbrella in my pocket. I think there's a joke to be made there. But anyway, let's hop on the bus. We've stopped at the gas station. We have a fine selection of vinyl records, such as Led Zeppelin 1, the best of Pink Floyd, Mozart, Iron Maiden, the Beatles. All right, welcome to Plovdiv. We've got an umbrella, we've got a hood on, we've got all kinds of stuff. I'm on the tour.
Imagine this place in 1960. It was just a hill, everything was under the earth. And when the local people started to build the yellow building, they found a piece of marble. And they found 5,000 original marble seats from the beginning of 1st century AD.
We're just breaking for lunch here, so we are on what they call the Main. It's the longest pedestrian walkway in all of Europe. It's over 3 kilometers. There's shops and restaurants, people walking around. There's a fountain. There's also the mayor's office. So in the year 2019, Plovdiv was recognized as one of the top cultural cities in all of Europe because there's so much history here. We have a Roman stadium underneath this main area, and that stadium could hold 30,000 people. As Maria said, it was unearthed in the 1960s. Before that, it was just a regular street. So the rain has let up a little bit. I just ate at a Bulgarian fast food restaurant. The restaurant is called Happy. They had originally started the restaurant to compete with McDonald's, and it was burgers and stuff like that. But over time, they expanded it out, and actually, I'm really impressed with it. First of all, it's kind of more of a sit-down place, but the food comes fast. And then the menu is really extensive, and there's all types of stuff on there. So I actually had a great experience there. The service was excellent. They even have a sushi menu. They have, of course, alcohol, and they have burgers, salads, all kinds of hummus, vegetarian stuff, vegan stuff, even salmon. So yeah, I'm very happy with Happy. So it's a rainy day here in Plovdiv, as we've seen some Roman ruins, we've seen a Roman amphitheater, we've seen a few churches, we've seen some historic streets, as we'll get on the bus and we'll go to the next location. So we've arrived in Koprivshtitsa after about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive through the countryside here in Bulgaria. Now let's check it out. So the first part of Koprivshtitsa, the name, it refers to nettle, like stinging nettle, the plant. And then the last part kind of means area. As we can see, it's very lush today. The birds are singing. And I guess that means there's a lot of vegetation around, including little plants like stinging nettles. Have you ever played the Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask for Nintendo 64? Because as I'm walking through here, I keep hearing roosters crowing. And it is so picturesque and just the perfect little village. I just want to say that this is the village from those Zelda video games. This is the site of the first shot of the Bulgarian Revolution against the Ottoman Empire. Bulgaria gained its independence in 1879, and a few years before that, there was an uprising here in Koprivshtitsa. And there was some Turkish police here, and they were arresting people, and basically there was a little chase to where some of the locals were running from the Turkish police. And they got away, and then they suddenly encountered one officer, and they had to kill that officer in order to get away. And he was shot by a young man named Tudor, and there's a statue of Tudor here commemorating this. And that was the beginning of the uprising. At this point, the people of Bulgaria were restless, and most of them knew that there was an uprising underfoot. In order to let everyone know that the revolution had begun, they drafted a letter and they signed it in the blood of the Turkish officer that was killed here. And he was killed on this bridge, and they call it First Shot Bridge. And so now we're leaving Koprivshtitsa, back on the bus. We're back in Sofia. It's just exactly 6 o'clock now. The rain is very light. We left this morning at 8 a.m., so a 10-hour journey. It cost 50 euros. I think it was well worth it. We saw Plovdiv, we saw Koprivshtitsa. We traveled over 300 kilometers, saw some churches, saw some history. So now, of course, I have a 20 to 25 minute walk as we go through the Crystal Garden Park here. How they say shop. It's kind of a funny word. I feel like maybe they got the word from when you see like a newsstand on the sidewalk, right? They're selling newspapers, they're selling magazine, they're selling gum. And so how you say shop in Bulgarian or Russian, you say magazine. Magazine. As we just walked past Crystal Gardens about 5 minutes ago, it had the statue of the guy's head. That's actually where the pub crawl starts from. There's a pub crawl here every night at 9 p.m. and I actually went on it maybe a couple weeks ago. I didn't know what to expect, and this is an indication of how big of a drinker that I am. I had no idea if there would be like a history lesson, but you just go to 5 different bars and they give you drinks at each one of them. So it's basically you get 5 drinks for 18 euros or whatever. But I went to the first bar and I saw my guide from one of my guided tours, and I started talking to him, and I actually lost my group right away, right off the bat. And so the pub crawl is put on by the same group that does the free tour. That group also does the communist tour. And so I told Martin I had gone on the free tour actually twice. I'd gone on the communist tour once, and now he's there on the pub crawl. And so I had lost my group. So he started making some calls to get me reunited with my group, and basically he said, "Don't worry, we're gonna find him. You're our premier customer," because I'd already gone on 3 different events with that group. So as we continue on our way, the Palace of Justice is now behind me. And then over here we have McDonald's, which I went in there just to check the menu, because of course McDonald's is oftentimes different in different countries, and when you're in Europe, you never know what's going to be on the menu. You can get a Heineken with your burger here in Sofia. So as I got rid of my car in preparation for my nomadic journey, I had to call Progressive in order to remove my car insurance. And I was talking to a guy who sounded like he might have had a European accent of some sort. And he said, "Joe, so you don't have a car now. What are you gonna do? Get a ride with your friend? Take the bus?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm gonna take the plane and I'm moving to Europe." He asked me where I was going. I said I was gonna go to Norway and Denmark and Bulgaria. And he goes, "Joe, I'm from Bulgaria." And so we had a nice conversation. I asked him some questions. He said that he lives in the United States now, but he said that the food is great, the people are great, and that there's a lot of history here, and that I would love it. And honestly, I found all of those things to be true. So we did it. We're back in the neighborhood. Yesterday we tried to use the lift to go up the mountain. Today we went on a bus tour to Plovdiv and Koprivshtitsa, which is hard to say, but even harder to forget is the saying. And so what do you think of Bulgaria? What do you think of those cities? Did we go too fast by them in the video? Maybe. Or maybe you just want to say hi. I'd love to hear from you in the YouTube comments below. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on the journey with me. And from Sofia, a rainy Sofia, Bulgaria, thanks for watching, or as they say, Благодаря.